Hey guys, what's up? It's almost springtime. Well, here it's still cold and rainy, but it's raining every single day at some point, which is really annoying. Hope you can hear me with the wind. But here's a tour of our mowers that we're going to be using on the daily for 2018. Maybe a few little things I like and dislike about each one. Some are new, some are old. But here you go. Let's see what we got here. So on the left we have our Aaron's Razor, a old Ferris Comfort Control DD 48-inch, a Ferris SRS 52-inch stand-on, a Ferris FW35 52-inch, and a Snapper Pro 36-inch. All floating deck, obviously except the push mower. I don't buy fixed decks because we cut a million different heights, even though I don't really want to. It's what the customer kind of wants. There's different grass types here in the Midwest. We have a bunch of different grass types, so it's really important to have. This was actually the first true commercial mower I bought. I had an old Toro 36. Some of you guys have been around for a while, you might remember that one, but this was the first real, what I would consider, full commercial machine. And it is it's got a few little things here and there, you know, it's got some character, so that's cool. The only thing, compared to the new model walk behind, this is miles behind it. But for the times, and it cuts great, it stripes good, doesn't use a lot of fuel, generally speaking. Controls are simple, easy to get to, pretty comfortable. I mean, it is a pistol grip. Decent amount of power, grease points are easy to get to. I don't like the small tire sights. That's one thing I do not like about that. Also the small front casters in comparison. I know that's a 52 and that's a 48, but the newer 48s have the same big tires, so they've upgraded a few things. It's been a great mower. I have another one of these. It's actually in the shop, so that's why I decided to get that last fall. Aaron's Razor push mower. Don't buy one. They're about $400 to $450 for the self-propelled like that. I don't think it's worth it. It cuts phenomenal. Now don't get me wrong, it cuts awesome, but it has an auto choke, and the problem is with the auto choke, when it gets really hot out, or it's been running a lot that day, it won't want to start because the auto choke has a temperature sensor somewhere in there. The guy at the dealer told me something about it, but I'm probably going to get rid of it. I just, it cuts really good, but the fact it won't start on the first or second pull when it's warm out, just I can't do it. The other thing is this handle here. This is your speed control. This is starting to stick, and I think I had opened this up, and this little cable here, which is what this pulls to engage a self-propelled, it actually came out, so I hot glued it because that's the best thing I could figure out what to do with it at the time. And that's held, but now that other thing's messing up, so it probably needs a little lubrication in there. Not a fan. Engine has plenty of power. Subaru engine, like I said, cuts good, bags well. Never uses side discharge on it. And I just wish this flap was metal, because the problem is we've actually, for really tall yards, when we've had to use it, we couldn't get the other mowers in, we tied this up, and what happens is, as this heats up, this starts bending. So now you have this little gap in there, and grass tends to just get out, and it just bothers me. So that's gonna go, but for the time being, until it really stops working or gets hot and it annoys the hell out of me, it's staying. But yeah, it cuts great. Can't say anything super great or super bad. It does have one height adjustment, which is great, because if you tell your guy put it on 3 inches, they go move one lever and they don't have to worry about any other wheels. So that's a really nice feature. Like I said, plenty of power. Moving on, I got this guy new last September, I believe it was. You might have saw a review on my channel. It's yeah, I love it. It's fast. It doesn't do as good on the hills as a walk behind. That's expected. It's a different kind of machine. Pretty good power, 25.5 horse. I haven't ran in a situation where I needed more power, so I can't speak much for that. I do like the ICD deck. I cut years ago a skeet and trap place, and they had a 61-inch zero-turn Ferris with the ICD deck, and it's phenomenal. I really like it. Now you get in tall wet grass, no mower really does any much better than the next one. So that being said, as far as comparing it to, most people compare it to Exmark, They all cut about the same in wet conditions, in my opinion. Dry, all mowers cut great, pretty much. The only thing I don't like is I have these chute blockers, which my other ones on my other mower, it's in the shop, I gotta get it off there, but this, I had to shorten this for this stand-on. That's my only complaint about this style, because it's made by Trimmer Trap, it's a chute or blade blocker. I love them because it keeps us from spraying flower beds, cars, siding, you name it. It can help clean up when you're done. You can angle them halfway. Whereas similar products like grass flap, it's either open or closed. And we do a lot of leaf mulching in the fall. I don't have a leaf vac, so mulching is what we do. And it's nice to be able to flip it over, you know, open just a little bit to relieve some of that build up pressure in the deck, allow leaves to get mulched a little better. So that's my only complaint with those, is they don't really work for stand-ons, but I did make it work. As you can see, those are a lot longer. I shortened it and drilled a new hole, that's a solid bar, so that was a little nerve-wracking because you have basically one shot. Yeah, you know, they work. As far as the mower is concerned, I love it. Plain and simple. It's probably, if I could have one mower, it would probably be that, or a stand-on. Because walk-behinds don't go as fast. You know, something like this really comes in handy. These small subdivision cookie cutter yards, that's slower than a walk-behind because they weigh so damn much. It probably weighs 900 pounds, which isn't a lot. With me on it, I'm like 220. So it's getting, you know, over 1,000 pounds, and right now we've had so much rain the past week, probably 7 inches or something. I don't remember what it was, but they really like to rut it up pretty easily when you turn. But nonetheless, it's a great mower. I really love it. Height adjustments, awesome. It has a striper on the back. I don't care about that. It does look pretty good when it's all done. Prices, I paid $2,000 for that in 2015 or 14. It was the end of 2014 when I got that. I bought this new last September. It's a 2017 model. This is a 2016 model I bought for $4,700 with 50 hours from a individual nearby, and that was a great deal. So with this mower, I haven't got to really use it, so I can't speak a lot for it. Previous Ferris I was pleased with, so I figure, well, we'll give this a shot because, you know, it's all my stuff's the same brand, Snapper Pro, Snap Ferris. It's the same mower. Back in the day when this was around, they weren't, but it's all the same brand. So I'm dealing with one dealer. I go to one dealer to get parts. I go to one dealer to do anything else, and that's nice. I'm dealing with one group of people. I'm not going to a million different dealers because I have Toro, Skag, Ferris, Exmark, all these different brands. From the guys I've seen, most companies in the area use Ferris or Snapper Pro, and they all cut great, so I don't have a problem with buying one. Like I said, 20.5 horse, decent power. I demoed one last summer, I believe it was, and it does, you know, it's pretty good. I think it needs to have a little more horsepower because that's a 19 horse at 48 inch, and I think only a 1.5 more horsepower is not enough for the extra 4 inches. But with that being said, it still cuts great, does a good job, handles great. I love these new controls that Ferris came out with. I did use the Exmark. They hurt my hands after a single day. Now I know the mower, I borrowed it from a buddy of mine who owns a lawn service because that one was down, and it I just, you know, they weren't new mowers, but the fact of the matter is they hurt my hands after a single day, and it wasn't like it was the first week of the season, because everyone's hands hurt, it seems like, then, but it was middle of the season. We've been mowing for months, and it just hurt my hands. This is far more comfortable, in my opinion. I do like Exmark's flip controls. Well, we're not talking about that. But no, that's a nice feature. It's comfortable. You know, the other thing about this generation, there's one hydro fluid reservoir, which isn't a big deal. It's because of where it's at. It's in the sun. I've had 2 or 3 of those crack in the time I've had that style or model. These are under here. They're out of the sun, out of the rain. You know, things get wet, they get cold, they get hot, you know, all the time. And if you have an enclosed trailer, that helps, but you're still mowing in the sun all summer, all season. So I do like that. I think that won't be a problem. I don't like the fuel tank on the side. You know, I have a thing about it being just a weight distribution thing, that's just that, you know, that's just my preference. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The battery's over there. Couldn't tell you if it's really unbalanced or not. I'm not an engineer, but yeah, built well. I like the big tire size. The chute blocker works fine. I'll show you how those are mounted in a second, a little closer. Here's my 2006 Snapper Pro walk behind. I have not seen a lot of these. Now, I've only been in the business for about 4 or 5 years, so, well, I mean, I've been cutting grass for 8 years now, but as far as actually in the business with this kind of level, only about 4 or 5 years. So I haven't seen a lot of these. They were, I guess, I don't know if they were even common back when they came out, to tell you the truth. I saw one other the past 4 or 5 years, and it was at my dealer, and they were trying to sell it to me. I just wasn't hip on it, but I do love the 36. Couple good points. It's light. It only weighs 300 to 400 pounds, I do believe. So one, when it gets stuck, not if it gets stuck, but when you get it stuck, it's light and it's easy to move around. You can get it out pretty much yourself. I'm not crazy about the deck. I'll explain that in a sec. Another thing I really like is the controls. For 36, I don't want nothing complicated. You're trying to get in a tiny backyard. Basically, you pull this. You pull these, and this is your brake right here, and that flips down. And it's similar to like an X-Mark or a Husqvarna walk behind, if you guys use those, where you flip it down and then you go. And then to stop, you pull both handles back and click that up, and that's your safety. So it's really good. Check this out. This is a metal button clutch, Pto clutch switch. Never seen one of those before in my life, but I do like it. It's separate. Unlike the other Ferris walk behinds, this has pumps and motor units. These are single units. So, you know, I've never had one go out, but I would imagine those are probably more expensive. The deck. This is my only complaint about this mower, is when I bought it, these bushings needed to be replaced because the deck was like, if I can get, it was like leaning terribly. It had 2 or 3 inches pitch. You want like 1/4 to 3/8 or something, or 1/8. I don't really remember what it is, but you want your deck leaning forward just a hair. So I replaced the bushings. It was still about 1 inch to 1.5 inch pitch to the front or the back or whatever it was, and it was driving me nuts. So I talked to my guy who works on my stuff, and he was able to straighten it out with putting more spacer in there. I'm not worried about warranty because it's far out of warranty. He put new sleeves there. He has a little machine shop there in his other shop, but what that does, it allowed the deck to be brought up to a more reasonable pitch. It's still like a 1/2 inch, but it's not like it was. This generation, the spindles are bolt through. I think some other brands still might do that. I'm not sure. I don't like that. It's just a little extra step. When you're doing maintenance, it just seems like it takes forever, where those are just bolt from the bottom. But yeah, it's light, and I think for a 36, that's what you want. You don't want nothing that's really big, heavy, and bulky. This is nimble. We have a pretty couple really steep hills that we've cut with it, and it just about does it. I did put new tires on there. It had those Turf Saver tires. These are like the Carlisle Turf Master. I don't freaking know what it is. But yeah, so on these chute blockers, most commonly I see them on walk behinds. They're about $240, $250, even more depending on where you go. They're a little pricey, but I don't think it's about the money. It's about the trouble it's going to save you. So it's pretty simple. They're easy to put together. Hard if you, for the first time doing it, to put together. But they come with a bracket like that, or they come with U brackets. So if you have this style or this style, you can still mount it. You do have to drill holes, but that's with pretty much a lot of this aftermarket stuff. But yeah, it's easy enough. It keeps you from spraying flower beds and whatnot. So that's a really nice feature that I like. So that one, we have it mounted here. I might change it. I'm going to see how we like it. The problem I had was, my guy was over here, we mounted it, and it was staying like this open. Well, that's fine. But the problem is, when you go to turn real sharp, it's jabbing right there. It got in my pocket, and it almost hit my area, so I wasn't about that. So I redid it and put it upright. So at least when you hit it, it's a flat bar. It doesn't hurt. That one was actually off old walk behind, so I modified it to fit. For these style mounts, it doesn't really go up all the way, so I'm hoping that's not an issue. I might have to tighten the spring. I put a little silicone on there to smooth it out, but it doesn't really go up all the way, unlike these do, because of the deck frame. On the stand-on, you know, I really don't like it on the stand-on, to tell you the truth. It works, but I probably could have chose something else, but there's not really a lot on the market. I love X marks, but you can't get those for Ferris's. Like I said, before I shortened it, it was like up here. And the problem was, when you'd lean to the right, if you were on a hill, you'd run into it. And it got to be to the point where you couldn't even really use it on a hill if you had to lean up to the right, because your side would just hit it, be uncomfortable. Plus, I had it pointing at you, open, so it was just jabbing your side, and it wasn't cool. So this, you know, it works. It's there, it's lower, so even when you lean, you know, you're not hitting it. So that's what I had to do to make it fit. I'll put a link to a review of that mower in the description. I'll have a review of that mower as soon as we get to use it for a month or so, and see how we really like it. So that's our daily mowing setup. We have, if you're curious, we have a couple Echo trimmers, a couple steel trimmers, and a couple steel backpack blowers. Those aren't that special. So yeah, that's our mowing setup for 2018. I'll have a setup video up. I forgot to do one last year. A little busy. So here it is. If you guys have questions, put in the comment section below. I'll try to link each of these mowers to the manufacturer website, and you can poke around on the new models. Like I said, you can't buy that one anymore, or that one. Actually, the guy who sold me that, he had all that mower. He had like 4 or 5 of them in his trailer, and it was just really odd to me because I'd never seen them, but he loves them. 2018, baby, it's coming quick. I know a lot of guys are already cutting, and I wish, because it's cold and it's damp and I hate it. And as soon as the sun comes out, we gotta start mowing, which sucks because we have all this landscaping we still have to do. But that's besides the point. Anyway, guys, see you in the next one. Peace.